Imagine holding absolute power. No laws to restrict you, no financial limits, and zero consequences for any action you take. How would you actually behave? History gives us a clear baseline for this thought experiment. When handed supreme authority, Roman emperors almost universally defaulted to total indulgence, spending their reigns pursuing whatever money, sex, or wine caught their attention. Looking at this marble bust of Marcus Aurelius, you see a man who faced those exact limitless temptations. Yet, serving as emperor from 161 to 180 AD, he consistently chose to be a good, virtuous person instead. The 2nd century map shows the footprint of his authority. The Roman Empire surrounded the entire Mediterranean. As far as the Romans were concerned, this was the entire globe. Marcus controlled the known world. His 19-year reign functions as a real-world stress test. It proves that a human being can stare down the ultimate allure of unlimited vice every single day and still actively choose moral restraint. You might wonder if this outward display of virtue was a carefully crafted political persona, a way to keep the public compliant while he ruled. We know his character was genuine because of the text we now call Meditations. Looking at these messy, unedited pages, you realize they aren't the polished drafts of a published book. They are the private diary entries of an emperor. Because these thoughts were written strictly for himself, they offer a direct view of his internal character and the philosophy he used to anchor himself when no one else was watching. At the core of that philosophy is the idea of living in accordance with what Marcus called nature, or the natural order of the universe. Think of a seed that pushes through the dense soil to grow. A tree grows as large as it can, and a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, purely to fulfill their inherent potential. They don't do it to seek external validation. Marcus applied this biological law directly to human beings. He reasoned that our specific duty on Earth is to reach our highest potential, which means actively choosing to be kind, virtuous, and good. Marcus believed that since our character is the only thing truly within our control, failing to develop it is the abandonment of our only real responsibility. To him, an unfulfilled life was the most significant failure a human could experience. As an emperor, Marcus dealt with deceitful, lazy, and malicious people on a daily basis. He developed a highly systematic way of handling them. This diagram illustrates his logic. He saw wicked individuals as a completely unavoidable part of our universe. Asking for a world without them would be exactly like asking a green vine to exist without thorns. Instead of judging their ignorance, his strict protocol involved turning his focus inward. He reminded himself that he had his own personal flaws, and that in a different situation, he might be the one making the ignorant choice. He expanded this logic to all forms of adversity. Because you cannot control that events when they arrive, your only option is to endure them bravely rather than complain. Marcus saw external obstacles and wicked people as functional tools. They are the friction you need to practice virtue and forge true internal strength. This gold Roman coin highlights the reality of his massive personal wealth, but Marcus maintained a highly cautious relationship with his money. He never vilified material possessions, but he actively refused to let them define his worth. He practiced a specific mental exercise, where he would appreciate the things he owned while consciously detaching himself from them. This ensured his state of mind wouldn't be devastated if his wealth suddenly vanished. Physical accumulation falls entirely short of human potential. You cannot buy virtue or character with gold. Those are strictly internal achievements. This chart maps a strict Stoic dividing line. On the left, pleasure is mapped as erratic, sharp spikes. On the right, happiness is a steady, rising line. External stimuli like money, fame, or power generate fleeting spikes of pleasure that quickly evaporate to zero. True happiness is a permanent internal state, cultivated exclusively from within through the pursuit of self-betterment. The life of the world's most powerful man proves happiness is detached from external circumstances. It isn't found in his empire, but in internal choices. Looking at this intricately carved stone column, we're reminded of the passage of time and the ultimate external force in Stoic philosophy, death. Marcus held a blunt view of mortality. He believed that dying, like living virtuously, is simply an assigned duty given by nature that everyone must fulfill. Because the exact timing of that arrival is entirely outside our control, spending your life fearing or fretting over it is completely illogical. Society conditions us to fear poverty, to dread pain, and to fear death. But Marcus believed there is only one specific thing a person actually needs to fear. That fear is letting yourself down. The only true failure in life is abdicating your moral responsibility and failing to become the great person you were naturally designed to be.